Alright, what you just seen was 3 ways of clearing the malfunction on your handgun. For you wheel gun guys, you don't have to worry about that. I mean revolver. But for some auto fans, this is something you need to practice every once in a while. Alright, in this first drill, what I'm going to do is I'm going to seat the magazine and tap the rear of the slide to make sure that the round is chambered fully. So what you're going to see me do is tap the rear to make sure the magazine is seated all the way. Then I'm going to tap the slide to make sure the slide is all the way forward. This ain't a problem with a lot of firearms, but with like the 1911s, I'm sure if you guys with 1911s have had to tap that rear of the slide to make sure that the slide locks out all the way. But for most people, this ain't a problem. Alright, I'm going to be using live ammo on this, but if you're at home and training by yourself, some snap caps, or just doing it with the firearm unloaded, it's a good way to train for this also. If you're in the range, I advise you do use live ammo because it gives you the recoil and things you're going to need to practice this in a real life situation. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load the firearm, but I'm not going to chamber a round. I'm just going to rack the slide, cock it if you will. That way my first trigger pull will be a dud basically. Nothing's in there so the firearm won't go bang. And then I'm going to point it down range. It's going to go click on me. So I'm going to drop to one of my steps, and this is the first step in what a 3-step process you're going to do to clear the firearm itself. So I'll tap, hit, and then go in for another one, and that's the first step. So go ahead and holster the firearm, get in your ready position, draw, click, nothing happens, tap, tap. If nothing still happens, we'll go to the second step. Alright, the second step is probably more relevant to most people because they won't have that problem with the slide locking forward all the way. So basically, if you don't have a 1911 or you don't have that problem, this is probably the most relevant step you're going to want to go to. You probably just want to bypass the first one and go right to the second step. Now in the second step, it's basically the same as the first step, except for instead of tapping the rear of the firearm, we're going to rack the slide. Now this is these solve problems like stovepipes and failure to feed. Basically a stovepipe is where the round locks out and the slide closes on it and you get a little brass casing sticking up a little bit. It's called stovepipe because it looks like a little stovepipe sticking up. Now, and you also have the failure to feed where basically the round don't feed at all. So what we're going to do in this step is we're going to go ahead and tap the rear of the magazine, and then we're going to rack the slide backwards. So we're going to tap, rack. And when you rack, don't be afraid to go ahead and fist that whole friggin' slide, man. Don't be pinchy with it and just use your fingers, if you can. I kind of do that a lot. I'm a competition shooter. I like the speed. But in the self-defense matter, you want to make sure you go ahead and grip that whole top of that baby and jerk that puppy back, you know what I mean? You don't want to slip on an accident. So we're going to tap, rack, and then go ahead. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and load the firearm. And just like we did before, I'm not going to chamber the first round because I want that click and the firearm basically like I have a dud. So I'm going to go ahead and load it, but I'm not going to chamber it. Now what I'm going to do is draw the firearm, pull it outwards. So nothing's going to happen. So I'm going to tap and rack. Alright, that one's probably the most relevant for most people. You'll probably most of the malfunctions in that type of way right there. So if you have to practice something a lot, I advise you practice that one. Although the third step is also important as kind of an oh shit barrier for self-defense people that like to train, for a little bit of everything. And this basically, you want to, you get into a situation where it's oh shit, none of those things work, so what do you want to do, And basically what you want to do for this one is you want to drop the magazine totally, and sometimes if you have some kind of malfunction, the magazine is not going to want to drop freely. It's going to want to stick up here, and when you push it, it ain't going to fall freely. So what you're going to probably have to do is pull it. So we're going to have to pull it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the magazine, and I'm going to stick it on my pinky finger. And this will allow me access to the slide. Now, if you can't grab it with your pinky finger and hold it, you might have to get a little more meat fingers in there, you know what I'm saying? And grab it like so. Just make sure you steer clear your trigger finger away from the trigger. So I'm going to pull it, tuck it in my pinky and hold it. I'm going to rack the slide to make sure the weapon is totally clear and out of the way and empty. I'm going ahead and seat the magazine and then rack it again to chamber a round. Now, If you get the dreaded double feed, your magazine's going to stick. That's basically where you get a round nosed up into the other round, and the slide goes like so, locks about right there, and the round is holding the magazine in. So it's not going to want to come out. You're going to have to really pull it to get that round to come out, and then what will happen is you'll pull it, and then that round is stuck in there will drop out, and then you can go ahead and do the tuck, rack the slide, make sure the weapon's clear, insert it, rack the slide again, and you're good to go. Alright, so I'm actually going to create a double feed here just to give you guys an idea of what I mean by the magazine sticking. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the firearm. I'm going to chamber around manually. I'm going to take my magazine, insert it, and drop it. And there I got a double feed. There's one down pushing up against the other. It's creating a force. Even though I'm pushing the button now, the magazine's not following me because there's a force holding in. That round is actually holding in to the other round itself and creating pressure, and so it's not going to, free fall drop. So in this drill, I'm going to do what I said. Pull the firearm. Oh shit, nothing happens. Hit the mag release. Pull the magazine out. Stick it in my pinky. Come back, and then go ahead and pull that slide back a couple times to try to eject that round out there. So go into it. Nothing happens. Pull it. Tuck. Clear. Insert it. Chamber it again. Fire the weapon. And that's basically what you're doing there. Alright, there you go. I hope those things help you out. I'd like to thank Andy Man real quick for helping me out with my audio. If you can actually hear me decently right now, it's because of Andy Man. Before, if I did this, you wouldn't be able to hear me right now. But instead I got an attachable mic on my ass, so you can hear me. So I'd like to throw a quick one to him for really helping me out with some tech shit. I really appreciate it, man. Hopefully it'll improve my clips a little bit better. But so if you guys get a chance, practice some of these techniques at the range and, get used to them. So if shit does happen, at least you're prepared for them.